Welcome to another episode of Key Biscayne Stories where neighbors meet neighbors. Today we have
Coach Iggy. He's the co-founder of TK. I think I've been with him for around 10 years that I was swimming with him. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
excited. We're excited to learn all about Team Key Aquatics.
So how did it all start?
Oh man. How did it all start? Well, so I was going to FSU. That's where I went to college, Florida State, and uh, and then one summer I had decided to come back from Florida State. I was finishing up. I ended up finishing up in FIU, and I just didn't want to be at FSU anymore. I was studying criminal justice, and and I was working summers. I was working at Blimpie when Blimpie used to be under RDCA there at the square.
What is Blimpie? I don't...
Blimpie is a sandwich spot, like a Subway.
Okay.
And I was working there, and I was working at the time my stepsister's law firm in the Gables. And I remember I was doing that summers, and that was for me like, it was tough, work at Blimpie's in the morning, and then my stepsisters in the afternoon. And when I decided to come back from FSU, I was like, I don't want to do that again. Um, and I was talking to my brother, Coach Gabby, and he told me that he taught a swim lesson at the yacht club, and that he did like a 30-minute lesson and he got like, it was fun, and he got like $40 for a private lesson. So I was like, that's a good idea. So then I came back, and I'm like, all right, I'm not doing the Blimpie thing. Working at a law firm was not fun. A lot of photocopying, a lot of paperwork. You have this idea of going into like court and like, doing that. And that wasn't the case. So that idea, scratch that. And so I did like old school. We didn't have like, social media to advertise. Well, we had a copy machine and a flyer. So I made those flyers where you put the phone number like kind of vertical and you cut it.
So you take...
And I would put it all around the key, and I would like paste it like at Vernon's Drugs at the time, Sir Pizza, because they all knew me growing up here on the Key, because I'm born and raised here on the Key. And they would let me and put it, up there. Even the 7-Eleven would let me put it. So, and at the end of the week, I would see if people would tug at it for swim lessons. And it was called Learn to Swim at the time. And people started calling. And then that's kind of how like slowly it was like I had one lesson here, one lesson there. And then slowly it came to a point where it was like, okay, my schedule was packed. So I would get one kid and one kid that were at the same level and like put them together. And we'd go to someone's house. And then slowly it was like 2 kids and 2 kids. My schedule was packed, put 2 kids and 2 kids together. I had like 4. And then it was just learn to swim at the time. But then once I taught someone how to swim, it was like, all right, what are we going to do next? Let's do stroke development. So we did stroke development, and I had some like old school swimmers of ours. One of my first was like Julian Radiz, which he ended up going to college to swim, and he was a great swimmer. I remember going to his house teaching him. And then once I taught, for example, because he was one of my first competitors as a swimmer, once I taught him all the strokes, it was like, all right, what's next? It's like, oh, well, let's go try a competition. And then we went to a competition, and he did really good. He was one of the top 2 in the competition for all like the strokes and stuff like that. So slowly the word got out. And then before you knew it, I had like a little swim group at Key Colony. And then, because they have a 25-yard pool there. And then from there, yacht club was, I used to coach at the camps that they had there. And we brought the team to the yacht club there, which had a great little pool because it's a little bit smaller, which is great for like stroke development, and they had a deep end, which was great for diving. And we had a little team there, and we had actually a pretty solid team where we would go to competitions. Then we got recognized at competitions, and then they built the rec, which we didn't end up at the rec initially. We had to like earn our spot there. And eventually we got a little window to enter at the rec, and then it was history. So we've been at the rec ever since. And I don't even know, when that happened, like years ago, I guess. I don't know. It's been a long time. So that's how it all began.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, how did you even know how to swim? Like, what brought you into that? whole process?
Well, I mean, so when you first get certified, because I had to get certified, I got my lifeguard certification, my WSI instructor certification, um, which allows you to coach or teach. If you go to like if you go to the community center, you have to have your WSI and you have to have CPR certification. So you need certain requirements to coach there.
That makes sense.
But back in the day, you didn't need those. It was just kind of like backyard. I had them anyway, just to say that I had them.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of just developed my own style, and then I studied, the sport of swimming and aquatics, and kind of like self-taught. But I also was part of an organization, um, which was part of like Florida Gold Coast, like a USA swimming organization, where every year they have like seminars, like a weekend seminar, and they used to have it in Fort Lauderdale. So I used to attend those seminars and be surrounded by Olympic coaches that were giving off the seminars and give tips to how to help the kids coach, and how to write program for them, and what you need to do to make national level swimmers, which was my goal at the time, to make recognized swimmers not only in Florida but like on a national level. So those are the little things that I did. So self-taught, I would say, more than anything. And I wasn't a swimmer in high school. I wasn't a swimmer in college. So because of that, like, I was very determined to create great swimmers, because that would give me validation as a coach for people to want to be coached by me. So we kind of did that. So I was very proud of those accomplishments, and the swimmers trusted me to do that. Their families trusted me to do that, and that's how we kind of began on the swimming level.
So did you reach your goal of national level swimmers?
Yeah, like, I got to the level where, like, I feel like it was, like, maxed out, like, in terms of we created some swimmers that were recognized at a young age on a national level. They were ranked, like, top 20 in the country for their age groups. Um, we had one swimmer, Julian Ballestas, where at the age of, and he was a beast. He's still a beast, but, um I believe at the age of 10, compared to Michael Phelps's time at the age of 10, he was like 0.01 seconds behind Michael Phelps at the equivalent age of Michael Phelps at the time. I think, like Julian Radiz that I mentioned earlier, he was ranked top like 16 in the country. I had another girl, Carlota Verita. She was ranked like top 2 in the country for her 100-yard breast at the age of 10. We had an awesome crew of 10 and unders that were ranked like third in Florida, for their group. So we did that, and we went to a competition in, where was it? I forget where it was, but Coral Springs. It was Coral Springs.
Out of so many.
It was Coral Springs. It was really a great day, because when you go to these competitions, it's an all-day competition. You compete to qualify at the beginning. So you're like there the whole weekend. Parents are there the whole weekend. And your goal is to make it to the finals. And then we had 2 swimmers that made it to the finals. One was Julian Ballestas, and one was uh, Carlota Verita. And there was one was for the 100 breast, and one was for the 100 free. And they both competed, and at the finals, they both broke like course records that were held at that pool, which was really big, because it was like records that were held there for a long time. So I was like, that was like an interesting, part of my aquatic journey as a coach, because when they accomplished that, it was like I had coaches from all the other teams. Great job, coach, really, like, hyping it up, and the kids did great. But I remember the next day in practice, it was like, what's next? Like, what's next? What's next? And you have that crew of swimmers that didn't qualify or didn't get their best times, and you have those moments where, like, those losses, what I realized is, like, those losses stuck with the kids longer. And as a coach, you're helping them overcome those losses over a longer period of time. But those wins, once you win, it's like, all right, it's over. What's next? It's over. What's next? And as a coach at that level, I didn't really enjoy that process. Like we didn't celebrate the wins long enough, and the losses stuck with us longer. So as a coach, I really didn't enjoy that. So I kind of like felt that at that one competition, and I was kind of like, I don't know if this is the direction that me personal on my own personal coaching journey that I want to go on. So at that point, started shifting a little bit my aquatic journey as a coach. You know.
I remember it though. I remember last time it was like we would love to like compete in year competitions. It wasn't like anything else. And then like when you would compete, I remember this one kid. It was like we were like swimming and it was boys and girls because co-ed.
Yeah.
And I remember it so vividly because I got first place. But the only reason was because like one of the kids false started. And that kid cried so hard to this day. To the day I see him. And I'm like, I got first place. He's like, that didn't count. That didn't count. That's what's so funny. Like they actually still do remember. So it's like it's so true, like what you were saying. But like I still remember my win.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Do you remember who that was?
Yeah, it was Marco B Dash.
Oh yeah, Marco.
So I would see him in like school, and I'd be like, I don't know, I won. But everybody, I feel like everybody, when it starts, is just like I think you give the foundation, and then the starting point, and then you're like, wow, like I'm actually good at this, or like, no, this is not going to be me in the future.
Yeah,
And then I think like then you're just like, okay, you want to do competitive?
yeah.
Go competitive somewhere else, yeah. And then like,
Well, what we did is like once I shifted gears, like we kind of like just tried other things. So we started incorporating water polo.
oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, we started later on, we started incorporating elements of surfing. So there's a lot of aquatic sports out there, and like some kids take to swimming because it's more of an individual type of sport. Some kids take to water polo because it's team based. There's a ball, you're shooting into a goal, so it's totally different. Surfing is more like a laid back style, like there's survival involved in surfing, which we do elements of survival, like building water resilience. So we add that element into there. But what we do now is like I like to say we not yeah, like foundation. We put the fun in fundamentals, right? So we teach the fundamentals of swimming because swimming is the base. You know, you need to swim to play water polo. You need to swim to surf. Um, you need to swim to be water resilient, you know? So swimming is the base, but we incorporate water polo and then we look around and say, oh, this kid doesn't really like swimming, but they have a knack for water polo. So he's finding a place in the aquatic field, you know? Um, and then we see some kids like enjoy like maybe the elements of surfing that we provide or underwater work, which we do there at the community center. So we kind of like, and then we'll talk to a parent. We'll be like, hey, they don't like swimming, but water polo might be their thing. So let's keep them here because our goal is to do what we did with you, Matilda, which is basically get you ready for aquatic sports in high school to give you a place to go, to give you a place to belong, a community to be a part of, which I never had that growing up. I didn't make because I was a baseball player. I didn't make my baseball team for Columbus, which is where I went to for high school. So, once that stopped, I was like, I don't have a community or a place to belong. So I wanted to kind of provide that for the kids once they leave our pool deck to be a part of something beyond our pool deck. Because once you finish with us, I don't like to say finish, but like graduated from us, you went to go swim, I believe,
I went to go swim competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Maybe swimming.
I'm sure you did great, I'm sure you provided value to your team. I'm sure the coaches loved you because we loved you on our pool deck. You were awesome. And then as a water polo player, I know, like I saw some stats, like you were playing, weren't you? And shooting
Yeah.
goals and making goals, and you came out on, I think I saw a paper, like, or something in the paper
It was
or
like
something.
Miami-Dade all day.
Come on, that's like baller status. I've never accomplished something like that. So that's always been our goal. And give you the qualities to be successful on a team. Like you guys are a team here. Like I see you working here and what you're being successful and you're providing value here and. So that's always been our goal. Um so yeah. I could go on forever, guys.
No, let's
It's
do it.
like the story. My story is like we've shifted gears with Team Key Aquatics and what we do there at the community center so much. Like it hasn't been the same. It's always shifting. It's always shifting. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like 50% or like no 80% of the people in mass right now are just from TK
Yeah.
doing water polo and doing swimming.
We love
Party.
that, and we love to like, luckily through social. Like if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't even know your story, you know. But luckily, like I get to see what you're doing with Miami Tutoring, which is amazing. I see what you do with KB Home,
KB help.
KB Help. I see what you're doing with KB Help. That's amazing. Like those things are great. What you're doing here, that's great, and that's what it's all about. That's why, like, when I see you, I'm like, I want to hear more. That's why I came on because really, I just want to hear about like your journey through aquatics and how you experience TKA. You know,
Yeah.
so I might have a couple questions for you if you don't mind. You know, this is where I shift gears a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when Matilda scheduled Iggy for the interview, then I called him to give him, a little bit of how it goes, and he's like, "I just want to interview Matilda."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Go ahead."
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Because for real, like, what happens is when I hear your experience, because as a coach, I have my like perspective of what our relationship as you came up through our program, but you have your version of what went down poolside at the rec, and I have no idea what went down poolside at Mast or Miami swimming as well. So I had a few questions because it's just going to help me to be a better coach and our program to be a better program for like the future generation of the kids coming up. So I got a couple questions.
Shoot away.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
You ready? Has anybody done this on your show?
No.
Okay. Matilda, what was your TKA journey like?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think my TK journey it first started when I don't know the lady's name, but it was right next to TKA. There was just a lane line. And then that one, like, because my brothers would swim. And then I was like, I want to be like my brothers. Because it's like every single sibling is just like the older brothers, now I'm going to follow you.
Yeah.
So I saw my older siblings like in TK and I would be like, I want to swim. I want to swim. And I was like, no, you're too little. TK doesn't let you. Like, and then once I think I turned, I don't know what's the age. I think it was like 4 or like 5.
Okay.
I forgot the age. I was allowed to like start swimming.
Yeah.
So I started swimming. I actually fell in love with it. It was like I love the sport. I love like not sweating. That was my favorite part of it because I never liked like running or any of those sorts. So just like swimming in that was like super fun. And I think like the way that you also like made the practices, it wasn't just swimming based. Like we would also just go outside, do push-ups, do
Yeah.
like the what I remember also is like the weights. So we would go down like in the bottom of the pool, grab the weights, put them up,
Yeah.
like and then like get out of the pool. And I remember still to this day, like people just don't know how to like get out of the pool. And I've done it so much with you guys, like because we'd be like, okay, get out, and they go, okay,
Yeah.
and like put my foot out, and like everyone's like, okay, no, I can't do it, and like mass, they're like, aim. So it's like fun. Like I still have like those like fundamentals like from that,
Yeah.
and like also like what you were saying, aim. Or in it too, water polo was so fun. So it was never just swimming. You just made like the whole entire like thing better. And then that's why I think like I was so in love with swimming that I went into competitive because I was like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And then once I got competitive, I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't think this is for me because I also loved water polo. And it was water polo and swimming is like, you think like it's the same or like around the same thing. It's not at all. Like one of them is fun in my opinion. Water polo and then like swimming is just like, it's just like yourself. And like personally, I don't like just being in my own thoughts for 2 hours
Yeah.
a day.
Agree. I'm the same.
Yeah.
All right. I got another one for you. I got a couple for you. Okay.
You did great.
That was awesome.
Really, bro, you did-
I love the natural flow. I love it. So keep it coming. All right.
So funny.
What moments challenged you the most, like being poolside with us there at the rec?
Oh, what challenged you the most? I would assume just like the competitions, in my opinion. I loved competing against others and I loved losing. It's like something like that's so bad, like I guess like bad say, but I loved losing because it would be like, no, I want to win. So, like, I know that you would, like, split the people as, like, slow, like, medium, and fast lane. I would always be in the fast lane, and I would try so hard to, like, get up in the front because
Yeah.
I would wanna be, like, number 1 because that's, like, how I am. I'm super competitive in that sort. So it's, like, losing or just not getting in the front, like, as you say, like, it could be stupid at that time, but, like, it was just, like, my goal, like, and every single time I would come home and I would, like, get on my cap. I would always just get my cap on, and I would be, like, in my house, like, with my cap on, like, looking bald, and I was like, "Come on, I need to go to TK. I need to go to TK." I would, like, run, and, like, sometimes I remember I would bring you food, and you would get, like, an apple or something, and I would, like, eat an apple, and you'd be like, "What is that? What is that? Give it to me." And he's like, "Buy it." It was so funny, but, like, those, like, tiny moments, and, yeah, just, like, those challenging moments of trying to, like, get up ahead and just kick, like, harder, like, stop, not breathe that much.
Yeah.
Those are, like, probably, like, the hardest parts, but, like, it was my favorite part.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I used to love when you used to bring food, man. Feed coach.
It was like a group
Keep coach happy.
meal, and he would just grab it and eat. It was, like, I don't even know how he ate so much of it.
They would purposely give me the apple, and I'm like, these guys think I'm gonna take a little bite. No, would take a monster bite, and then they'd be like, "How did you do?" Look at that, she remembers. Yeah, yeah.
I remember even my friend, I think a few days ago, she, like, texted me, she, like, sent me a voice, and she goes, "I just remembered how funny it was when you're with Iggy and then you would, like, take a bite." I did something, I remember one time, when I licked the whole entire apple, and I was like, "Here, do you want?"
Oh, no, yeah.
Ate a bites, and that's what she was laughing, like, she was like, it was, like, the one in the morning, she just, like, sent me a voice by just saying that, and
Oh, that's awesome. That's so something I would do. All right.
That's
So,
good.
all right. So I got another one. All right. When you graduated from TKA and moved on to high school, middle school?
what?
Yeah, because nowadays, like, you could jump onto your masked team
In middle
in
school?
middle school. So now it's a little bit different. Back in the day, kids would stay with us like until like about like ninth grade. But nowadays, like, you could jump onto your mass team as a sixth grader. So we've had some kids do that. And Matilda was definitely one of those that could do that. So middle school. Um, so you left the comforts of the rec center, which is something like the kids always have to deal with initially. So what was that transition like going from the comforts of the community center to like a new pool deck with a new team and new teammates? Well, or when you went to Miami Swimming or you went to Mass Academy, what was that transition like? Because we don't see that firsthand because we're always at the rec. And kids, once they leave, they don't come back for years sometimes, or not at all. So here we are. I'd like to hear your take on like that transition.
Um, Personally, I it's not so vivid in my memory since it was so long ago, but I know that it was just so much more different because I would assume, like I was saying before, swimming was just so fun and, like, I would, like, go outside, do some push-ups, and then, like, maybe, like, the inner tube or, like, we would always switch around. It wouldn't just be swimming. Then it's, like, once I got into competitive swimming and, like, Miami swimming, I would it was just so different. It was so hard. Like, they would go, like, the sets at, like, for swimmers. It would be like 10 100s and 130, like, go. And then, like, they would be like, okay, no, now it's gonna be on 120. So you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not even breathing. And, like, in TK, you'd be like, okay, yeah, it was hard, but it's like, it was fun. Like, you'd be like, you would then go outside and then just, like, play around in the stairs, like, jump up in the stairs or,
Yeah.
like those sorts. And then just swimming for, like, 2 hours in your time and then, like, just, like, being, like, exhausted. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, I don't think this is for me. And then,
Yeah.
like, that's why I was so grateful that after I was able to do, like, water polo, but I had to do swimming to do water polo. It's a must, so that's why they have the seasons like that.
Yeah.
But, like, going into Mass Academy, I felt, like, super prepared.
Yeah.
Like, I was never slow, I was never, like, the slowest person. If anything, I was, like, one of the fastest, especially for my age group, and I remember still, like, to this day, like, I got my best time of, like, 30 seconds. It was, like, 10 when I was, like, 10, 12, something like that, in my 50 free, cause like and it was like, oh, I was like, "Wow," and like, to this day, I think I have, like, the same time. I have, like, what, I don't know, so 27 seconds, 3 seconds slower, but, like, for that age, I was like, "Wow, 30 seconds is good."
Yeah.
Even I don't remember, like, where I did it, but I know I did it in TK, and you were like, "Wow, 30 seconds." And I was like, "Yes." So the accomplishment was so fun, and you don't get that accomplishment in, like, mass. You would swim, and it would be like, "Alright, next."
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I think that was, like, my difference a lot.
Okay. I mean, we would have been proud of you no matter what time you get. So you know. All right. What was some of the biggest challenges like you faced in that transition from us to them? Well, I mean, you might have answered
Yeah.
that already with like, the times. Was it boring for you? I mean,
It was so boring.
that's what I heard. I heard without you saying boring directly, but
It wasn't fun in my opinion.
yeah, okay.
But like that's why I was like compared to like TK, and I would be like, wow, I love swimming. And then like you go and do some competitive and you're like, never mind. Like a lot of people like it. I liked it for like I think 2 years because like I love that adrenaline, just like competing and like being slower. Like I was like, you're not faster there. Those people are torpedoes. So definitely you're not gonna be fast there. But like getting into that position and like I did get faster in my times, but the more practice, of course, the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying.
Yeah, swimming's a tough sport, like you put in a lot of time in the pool, a lot of yardage in the pool for an event that might take you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really one of for me, it's the toughest sport. And if you miss a day of practice, that's like going backwards like 2, 3 days. So it's like one of those sports that's unforgiving, and you can't make mistakes. Water polo, you can miss a shot, you go back, you
Yeah.
swim, but swimming, you false start on the block,
Oh,
you're DQ'd and you're done, and all that yardage and all that time putting in for that one race is over. So, all right. So, now, okay. How do you like my questions so far? Okay.
So great.
Are you okay with this?
No,
I hijacked the show.
no, that's fine.
I did tell you I might have done
No,
that.
yeah, no, you did. You told me.
Okay. Um. So was there a teacher or a coach that helped guide you through, challenging times, like on the pool deck outside of, the rec, like at school or someone that helped you get through the tough times?
Uni, I think, Coach Uni. He's in Mass Academy. He's been there for forever. I remember I would always see him too when I would go to my brother's competitions or something like that. And like he'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna be here soon." And I've been with him for I think now 8 years. And yeah, like he's got me into like those hard times. Like I didn't want to swim or like I didn't want to do swimming anymore. Like there's times that you want to quit. And then like he talks to you and he's like, just like stay, like it's okay, like we're gonna have fun. Like and you're like, okay, fine. And then like I stayed. And now I'm in my senior year, last year with him. And yeah, like I think he's been great. And I'm super happy he's been with me for so long.
Oh, that's great. That's great to have those people like in your corner to help you out. So I ask you these questions because what we do now, obviously we use like swimming, water polo, and surfing to make kids like water resilient, because we want them to go compete for their high school teams and belong and be a part of a community. Um, but we also do like our challenges there on the pool deck, because now we don't do. Remember we did our swim fit uh, competition at the end of the year, which is where you won to Marco, where you beat Marco. Well, that's one competition. So we shifted gears even, and we do more challenges. We call it challenges. It's our swim fit like challenger series, and it's a year round competition basically. So now we like shifted gears. It's a little different, um, where we give like an opportunity for kids to be successful a bunch of times rather than compete the whole year for one event. Um, and we base it off of a philosophy of Joseph Campbell. I don't know if you guys have heard of Joseph Campbell. So he's a philosophist, a writer, studied mythology, and I came across his work, I would say like 3 years ago, and it blew my mind. And what he did is he studied mythology, and he studied stories across a bunch of different cultures. And what he found in all these stories, and he came up with a theory called the hero's journey. And it's this idea that we're all heroes in our own little journey. And what we do is we have a calling, and something happens to us where we're taken out of our comfort zone. Okay, and we have faced certain challenges. We meet certain mentors or guides or coaches along the way. We have certain obstacles that we need to overcome, and then we kind of like return home, smarter, wiser to tell our story. And he sees this in even movies today. Like when you watch movies, look at the movie and think about like those little things that I just kind of mentioned, the call, the challenges, your mentor, like who's guiding you, overcoming the obstacles, and then returning home, like, you know, winning the challenge. And that's kind of what we do. And I feel like what you've just shared is like your journey, your aquatic journey, because and this interview and this me coming here right now is like your return, because I've never heard this part of your story, that after you leave us, and a lot of the kids don't, like, we might see it more now on social a little bit, but we don't like have people like coming around and like sharing their story. So that's why I wanted to come on board, because I wanted to hear your aquatic journey through your own eyes, not through my eyes, but through your own eyes. And I wanted to hear how it ended, because now you're a senior, so your aquatic journey may or may not be ending right now. Um, so yeah, that's why, and this is like your return. So everyone's hearing your return. Like I'll share this with the TK family even, and they'll hear like, oh, this is where like my kid who's coming in at 4 years old, who at 4 year old, they have their own fear coming onto the pool deck. They leave the comforts of their like backyard pool, come onto the pool at the pool deck, and what's all this organization? What's all these kids in the pool? And they have their own fears that they have to confront. And then you have like our kids that like were you, and they leave our pool deck and go on to like, new situations, and they're fearful of that, because some kids are fearful to like leave us and go into their aquatic teams, and we're like, man, you got to go. It's your turn to go, go shine somewhere else, because you've shined here plenty. So this is like your return, this podcast. So I appreciate you sharing, so thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So I guess we have two concluding questions you could choose from.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to share about,
No. And like if there's other like TKA like swimmers out there like that are listening to the stories, come out and share. Like come to the pool deck, share your stories. We love to hear about it. We'd love to hear how your aquatic journey ended, or.
But I feel like you do end off good, because in the end of it right now, like I've been captain 2 years for my swimming and water polo team. So it's like you do show up, and you can be like a role model in that sense after you end TK.
Yeah, I mean, and look, you're going on to this new journey. Like you're gonna go to college. You have this whole new start coming around, and I just like a lot of the kids. Like, and I've had people come back, and it's like, if you ever need anything, just someone to like talk to about anything, come back. Like we've known each other forever. And we have history. So if you need future guidance on anything that comes up, like feel free to come back on the pool deck, share your story, jump in the pool. You know what I mean? Like you're
kids?
yeah, you're always have a home there. You know what I mean? So some kids are like, oh, we never came back, and they're shy to come back, and be like, I will never hold it against you for never coming. Like you're always welcome home, and like open arms, on the pool deck after kids come back. We love to hear everyone's like return, um, uh, when they come home. So.
And what is your favorite thing about the key?
My favorite thing about the key is like the community. I would say the community, the family feeling you get being around the key. Even like I was at the yacht club this past Friday, and I'm walking the docks. I hadn't been at the yacht club where we first began back in the day, and I was walking around. And some kid is just like, he's on that like the cannon that they have there at the yacht club, and he's sitting on the cannon, and you know what he says to me? He says, "Hi, Coach Gabby's brother." So he didn't even know who I was. He didn't know my name. He knew me as Coach Gabby's brother. Because nowadays, since I travel, I'm in and out of a lot. A lot of people are like Coach Gabby's brother. So I love that family feeling, that community on the key. Um, the golf carts, the kids jumping around, like just that laid back kind of lifestyle, and everyone's got each other's back and supporting each other and being there for each other. I mean, at least that's what I try to do personally. So I like providing that for the community, so yeah, that might be my favorite part of the Key Biscayne.
Awesome. Iggy, thank you so much for jumping on the show,
Yeah.
telling us all about TKA, some of your background stories, and also switching and interviewing Matilda a little more. We get to know her a little more. So thank you.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for allowing me to be here. Appreciate you.